Hey you guys, it's me Michelle from Awake Society. I would love it for you to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Now I'm gonna get down to the video. Many of you have emailed me, contacted me, and messaged me through my different social media asking me how did I truly recover. Many of you are having a difficult time at the current moment, and many of you have let me know that you feel guilty for relapsing or for not sticking to recovery. And the first thing I want to tell you is that you're human. You need to forgive yourself, and relapse is a normal part of recovery. Many of us relapse a couple of times before we even get to the place that we want to be. And if I'm going to be honest with you, in my journey of recovery, I relapsed maybe 10 times, possibly even more. I don't have the total number. When I started recovery in my early 20s, I was naive in a lot of ways. I thought that once I made up my mind to recover, that'll be it. I knew it was going to be a difficult road, but I thought, okay, I chose recovery once today and that's fine. No, the truth about recovery is that you have to choose it every single day. And there are going to be days so difficult that you're going to have to remind yourself multiple times a day of why you even started to recover and your reasons why you want to recover. For me, it's because I wanted a fulfilling career to help as many people as possible. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have been studying to become a psychologist. And I knew that if I wanted to help people, I needed to be in a healthy mental space in order to give the best of me to my clients and patients. Now, the thing about recovery is that once we start to recover, and it's important to let you guys know that I was in therapy, and therapy was a big part of my recovery. So, the thing about depression is that once you start your journey of recovery, it still has like a hold on you. It's still holding hard onto you, and you still have those cognitive distortions, those faulty ways of thinking about yourself, other people, and the world. And that is not something, you guys, that you get over in one day. And I really want you to understand that the belief system that you have that is not letting you see the world in a better light, you have been using that belief system since possibly when you were a child like me, and you cannot expect yourself to let go of that thinking in a day. For me, in all honesty, it took maybe 2 years, 3 possibly, to really get a hold of my negative thoughts. I had to every single day be extremely aware of what I was thinking, and every time I caught myself saying something negative about myself, other people, or my situation, I had to work really hard to just reframe my beliefs into a more positive but realistic at the same time. Okay, another thing that was really difficult for me, especially in the beginning of recovery, was my horrible bad habits and terrible behavioral coping mechanisms. Again, these are things that you guys have been doing for so long that just by saying, okay, I'm gonna stop my bad behavior today and think that's about it. No. For me, depression started off as a result from trauma, as a result from abusive home. And then as I got older, it got complicated with medical condition that impacted my depression a lot more than what it was. Now, the thing about growing up in an abusive household is that since you're a young child, you have maladaptive behaviors that come up every time there's a triggering situation in your home. Now, mind you, when I was in my early 20s recovering, I wasn't in the same home, I wasn't in the same situation, and I innocently thought that since I wasn't in the same situation, that those bad coping mechanisms or bad behaviors that I had would just go away because I wasn't in an unhealthy home. But that cannot be farther from the truth. The thing about traumatic events is that it is ingrained in your subconscious mind. And when you have trauma in the back of your mind, you self-sabotage yourself, whether this is conscious or unconscious. For me, at the beginning, it was unconscious, and it wasn't until I started recovery that I started noticing the way I would self-sabotage myself, good situations. So even though I was in a healthy home in my early 20s, there are still situations that can appear similar to the situations that you were put in when you were a kid. For me, sometimes it would be comments that people would tell me that, for example, my abusive biological father would tell me. And even though those people weren't my father, it would instantly throw me off and put me in a situation that was completely dark. I felt like I was spiraling down. I felt like I wasn't controlling my situation. And part of my self-sabotage was that since I didn't have control of my situation growing up, I had to control my situation, meaning everybody that surrounded me. And that is not okay, because the only person you can control is yourself. You cannot expect to control other people or want other people to behave in ways that you would like them to. So part of my recovery, and this is going to be the hardest part, and I am not going to lie, it took me a while, but it is not impossible. Every time a friend, a family member, or a random person said something that triggered me, I would automatically remove myself from the situation because I didn't want to behave like I previously did in the past. Go somewhere calm. Maybe it could be getting my car, going for a drive, going to my room, going to the beach, wherever I had to go to. Sometimes I would just take myself out for a treat, like to go eat at one of my favorite places, okay? And once I was far away from the situation that triggered me, I would sit down and literally think about it. I would ask myself, what did the person tell me that triggered me? He or she said this, this, and that. Okay, why would that bother me? Oh, now that I think about it, my father did tell me that a lot growing up. Okay, now what am I going to do about that, right? And I will create a plan. I would reframe my mindset. And part of my self-sabotage that wasn't helping me recover was because deep down I didn't feel loved, you guys. Even though I would say, yeah, I have self-love, like, come on, what do you think? Deep down I didn't love myself, you guys. I didn't have self-worth. I didn't have self-value. So a technique that I'm going to give you guys that helped me a lot. Now keep in mind, if this can be challenging for some of you or very uncomfortable, and if it's too much for you, it's okay. You could ask for help. Go to a psychologist or ask an adult maybe, or somebody who has a lot more life experience than you, or just maybe a friend that, even if they're your age, somebody that is mature enough to give you help and just lend you a hand along the way. So one of these techniques was that I would sit down and meditate. First I would do breath work to calm myself down, and I would close my eyes and imagine myself like in just this blank place, like it was just all white. And I would imagine a door in front of me. And this technique that I'm gonna give you, I learned from Mandy Morris. She's an amazing spiritual healer, so I'll let her information down in the description box below. So this is her technique, not mine. I would imagine that I'm in a room, a white room, okay? Just floating, nothing around me, no noises, everything, like just no stimulus. And then I would look in front of me and I would see a door, just a door. And I would imagine what's on the other side of the door. I would imagine there's a road, right? And in that road, I imagine myself walking to that door, opening it, and it's just like a road. Adapt it to whatever you like. It could be a road in the forest, it could be a road out in the country, it could be a road out in the city. For me, it was a road out in the forest. And as I continue walking, there were obstacles in the road. It could be a pothole. It could be a broken down road. Maybe it was a part of the road that was washed out because of rain. Maybe I got to a part of the road that was completely pitch dark and black. And for me, whenever I got to an obstacle in a road, immediately a past event would come to my mind. Triggering events. This is why I would like you guys to do this with a professional. And And a lot of the times it was my abusive father doing something to me from the past me. I would imagine the young version of me standing up to my father and saying what I wished I would have said when I was younger. And then I would visualize the young child me, the version of me, and tell myself, you are loved, you are worthy, you are magnificent, you are worth much more. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know. And then I would imagine the young version of me just like holding myself really tight and providing myself the love that I didn't receive. I would imagine the old version of me now hugging the younger version of me and telling her, it's okay, it's gone, it no longer matters. That reality that you had as a young child is a reality that you no longer have to bye-bye. I mean, how do I say it? You have to live by. I'm sorry. That reality you no longer have to live. Let it go. Live in the now. And I would do that every single time, you guys. I would walk farther in the road. Every time I hit a bump, I would imagine a bad situation will come to mind. I would stick up to whoever my abuser was at that moment, and I would say what I needed to say, and then I would say it's okay. Those people are no longer in my life now. I don't need to be fearful. I have the tools that I need now. And I would just continue doing that, you guys, until I got to a point where I felt so much relief. And I'm not going to lie, I still have a long way to go to recover. There are many things that I still to this day haven't been able to appropriately let go, but I'm working on it. And that's what I want you guys to know. Healing is a life process. Do not give yourself an unrealistic timeline. Like, oh, 2 months from now, I'm going to be completely healed. No, because as you continue healing and putting lights into your wound, there's going to be more darker things that are really, really way back in your mind that you don't even remember. That eventually during your journey of recovery, they're going to randomly pop up and you're going to be like, okay, this came up. Oh, and this is really important. Whenever you have a traumatic memory, whenever you remember something bad that happened to you or something that really marked your heart and left you really hurt, don't feel bad because that came up. Feel happy because it's coming up for you to heal and do something about it. And that's how I see recovery. Every time I'm in a good space and then bam, I remember something that happened to me, I don't feel bad. I'm actually happy because I'm like, okay, this means that I'm actually getting into such a better place that things are starting to come up for me to work on. And as I continue working on it, I continue to get in a better place. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to leave the video here because I don't want it to be too long. If you like these types of techniques and things that I did and the mindset that I have to recover, let me know. If you guys would also like me to do videos on what I'm doing right now, like in the present moment, like let's say I'm having a bad day tomorrow, and if you want me to be honest and say what happened to me and what did I do, let me know. Also, if that's a content that you guys want to see, I'm an open book, you guys. And I think in order to not only heal for myself, but to help others heal along the way, I have to be honest, you know, and I am putting myself out there. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Sure, there are things that are difficult to admit, but I know that I am not the only one going through this. And I know there are many of you right now watching going through the same thing. And if I am honest and give you the tools that I am using and what I'm doing to help myself, I'm pretty sure that I will impact at least one of you, even if it's just a little bit. So please, again, I am an open book. In the comments, you could even email me. Write down what you guys want to see. Where are you stuck at? What do you guys want to improve? What content do you want to see? And I will happily give it to you guys. All right, so that'll be all. I love you all.